Good afternoon and welcome to the Future of SRT 2019 and beyond. My name's Dudrey. I'm a Senior Product Manager here at Wowza, and I am here with Barry Owen, VP of Engineering at Wowza, and Marc Cymontkowski, VP of Engineering at Haivision. Welcome, guys. Yeah. So we're going to get into all things SRT right now. Why don't we kick off a little bit? Tell me a little bit about yourselves. What you do start with Marc, what you do at Haivision, and we'll get into what Barry does as well.
Yep. I joined Haivision in 2011 as part of a takeover. I took care of the core technologies at Haivision, streaming libraries, transcoding, encoding. In 2012, I started to work on a project that's now known as SRT. We open sourced it 2 years ago, and it's still a big part of my life to run that initiative.
Oh, that's great. Barry?
Yeah, Barry Owen. I've been at Wowza 6.5 or so years. Worked on many different things from engine to cloud to GoCoder. And I'm happy to have partnered with Marc and Haivision on kind of bringing SRT out into the public. We don't take a whole lot of credit for building SRT. They did the hard work. But we were able to really kind of push the movement forward. And as you see, with 200 plus members in the SRT Alliance now, and you really see all kinds of things. So it's really been cool to see the growth in such a short time.
Yeah, that's great. So let's talk a little bit about SRT. Explain to the audience, where did this come from? What were we trying to solve with SRT? Where really was the origins of the SRT?
Yeah, sure. So Haivision always was a low latency, high quality, end-to-end transmission kind of solution provider. And in roughly 2012 is when we realized that we have to bring those streams across the public internet rather than only in protected networks, like in LANs, enterprise networks. So we were looking for a way of how we can maintain low latency while at the same time securing the stream and getting it reliably over the public internet. And that's when we looked into developing a protocol for especially this use case.
So as far as the problems, it's really around the jitter, it's around the latency. That's what we're trying to solve?
Yeah, the packet loss on the way, your signal characteristics get distorted on the way, the timing behavior of a stream, especially using MPEG-TS streams, which have a integrated timing in the stream, gets distorted, and therefore the decoder has problems coping with it. We put all of this technology to recover all of this into the protocol.
Nice. So we're talking benefits. We're talking about the quality, packet loss, firewall friendly. What really are the benefits that come from SRT?
Certainly, along with
we just lost our video, but yeah, Barry. What?
Well, I mean, certainly along with everything you mentioned, it's also a secure protocol, right? It can be encrypted end to end. And that's a big plus for many users.
So going beyond the high level stuff, if we look under the hood, what is the technology behind SRT, and how does that work?
There's some important key points to this. Well, first of all, we are using a technology called ARQ, automatic repeat request for packet recovery. So basically, if the receiver is recognizing that a package is missing, so the packets are numbered. If there's gaps in the stream, it will re-request the packet from the sender. Therefore, the sender has to keep a certain amount of packets in the buffer. At the same time, we have a mechanism to embed timing information on the sender side into the stream and use that information on the receiver side to recreate the stream behavior.
So we've got a diagram up on the screen. Can you kind of walk the audience through that?
Yeah, you can actually see how on the receiver side, not all the packets were coming through. There is gaps in the stream. It's the sender is actually getting a notification from the receiver that there's packets missing. The receiver is sending non-acknowledged back to the sender, so it knows, we are missing packet 5 and 6, and then it's resending those packets. Just those packages. The advantage here is that you don't have a massive overhead in the transmission because you only retransmit the packets you really need. Whereas, for example, with FEC, you have this constant 20%, 30% overhead in the bandwidth.
Nice. So we spoke a little bit about latency and low latency. That's a hot topic right now. How low can SRT go?
Oh, pretty low. So if you are on a good network, like in a local LAN, in a enterprise network, you can do like 20 milliseconds. If you go over the public internet, what we recommend is 4 times the round trip time that you measure on that link. So I'm typically testing Germany to Chicago. That's 2 offices that we have. I measure 110 milliseconds round trip time, and I set the protocol latency to 440 milliseconds end to end.
Oh. What use cases do we have around? Do you have any customer stories we can talk about the SRT?
I mean, contribution is the main headache that everybody has. How do I get my data from on-prem to where I need to get it in order to process it further, whether it's for delivery, transcoding, analytics. And the second thing is distribution across the internet. So if you have one source and you want to get it to multiple endpoints, how do you reliably do that?
Right. Microsoft, customer or partner of ours, can we talk a little bit about them? I think we have a graphic we can show up of the Microsoft and how they use SRT. Maybe. Maybe not.
Is that the SRT hub?
SRT.
I think the Microsoft solution is a stream SRT solution.
Got it.
Where we are helping Microsoft to get that's exactly the use case, get the data to the ingest point. Mm-hmm. Because if you are an Azure customer, you get your subscription provision in the area of your headquarter. Now you got an event that's in a totally different location of the planet. And if you're trying to get RTMP on long distance contribution links, you have problems maintaining the bandwidth or even breaking upstream. So we are helping them to actually contribute SRT to that ingest point.
Gotcha. What do you guys see as the future of SRT delivery?
Well, I definitely hope it becomes a big ecosystem. I mean, it already is a huge ecosystem, but it become kind of like a standard in the industry. Mm-hmm. So because the more people contribute, the more people take part of it, the more people integrate it, the better for everybody.
So talking about 2019, what can we look forward to as far as technical updates, highlights around coming up this year?
So we just, for NAB, we just integrated forward error correction into the protocol. There is certain use cases, very rarely, but where you have very, very long links with excellent quality of the connection, where FEC gives you slightly better latency than ARQ. Mm-hmm. So for people who have those use cases, which is sometimes telcos, it's now supported in the protocol. Going forward, we are still working on adding SMPTE 2022-7 style redundancy to the protocol, as well as bonding of multiple adapters or connections into one. Yes. And I will also have an interesting announcement later today on the technical panel on some more exciting stuff going forward.
Oh, fantastic. Barry, what about SRT and cloud?
So Wowza has moved forward with, obviously we have SRT and Engine. Engine can ingest SRT from many devices. Can also push SRT forward to other devices for Origin Edge or things like that. Kind of that long link scenario what Marc was talking about where you need to fan it out to multiple edges. We recently announced that you can now ingest SRT into the Wowza Cloud product, which is going to be great because the distributed nature of cloud and that really helping to solve that first mile issue. We're also going to add SRT to GoCoder, the GoCoder SDK, on the contribution side, so that we'll be able to take better advantage of the SRT protocol, really where it matters a lot with is a bad mobile connection or a ever-changing connection on a mobile device. So I think that's great. And then also we're working with Haivision directly on becoming an output partner for the SRT hub.
Nice. So you touched on this a little bit. You guys see a bright future for SRT, but let's dig in a little bit. What are your opinions of where's the technology heading? What really do you see in the future for SRT?
Yeah, I think we are having a good speed on the features. We also made sure that the protocol is rock solid, reliable. It's out there for many years now. So integration, helping partners get up to speed. doing interop session, which we are planning, by the way, for a time frame after NAB again, another interop session between the different vendors to make sure it works. I think growing this ecosystem, stabilizing it, that's key to the success of the protocol.
Barry, your thoughts?
I think continued growth, right? More and more devices supporting it. I suspect you'll kind of see more and more things happen in interesting ways. People doing things with more than just audio and video. They're sending data and things like that back and forth, or the multiplex streams we can handle now and doing interesting things. There's really no limits to kind of how creative you can be with handling some of this. Then the key, of course, is what Marc said. It's got to be stable, it's got to be reliable, and people will pick it up and use it.
Absolutely. So, founding members of the SRT Alliance, looking at 2019 and 2018, what's kind of a recap of what has the Alliance done this year? What you think we should talk about? Interesting?
Well, we have our panel sessions at IBC, NAB, Streaming Media West, Streaming Media East, where different users of the protocol are explaining how they utilize the protocol, how they integrated it, what's the positive sides for them. But honestly, the growth is so fast that we are sometimes drowning in trying to get everybody together.
How many companies have joined in the
I
Alliance
believe
now?
we are 212 now.
212. That's great. Yeah. Oh, there we go. We got. It's probably not 212 on there. We couldn't squeeze them all in, but got a lot of big names there, obviously, and a lot of bright things for 2019. As we start to close in, wrapping up, is there any other thoughts or things you want to share on SRT before we plug the panel?
Very exciting for us as Haivision at NAB here is that we are introducing the SRT Hub. It's basically a media routing service on the Azure backbone. So we are combining the power of the SRT protocol with the fiber networks that Microsoft provides. So that combination is key.
Excellent. Barry?
Yeah, I think what I always like to say when I talk about SRT is join the community. Come and be part of the SRT community. It's an open source product. The more people who work on it, maintain it, extend it, the better. We'll get ultimately all the better for it in the end. And don't forget to go to the SRT panel today at I believe 4:15.
Yep, that's at 4:15. Sponsored by Haivision and Microsoft. We have other developers like Bitmovin, Deluxe, and GoGo. And that is in the North Hall, room N250. And again, it's at 4:15. Sponsored by Haivision and Wowza. And I assume you guys are going to be there. All right, and we hope you're all there as well. And with that, thanks for attending our panel, and hope to see you at the show. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Don.